Hello you guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, you're watching Booked on Charity, and in today's video I'll be sharing with you the African literature books that are on my TBR for 2024. So you might be wondering why I'm only recording this video now. I actually had already recorded this video early in the year around January, February, but then I lost my footage when my laptop crashed, and that was before I got to actually edit the video. And I've been thinking over the last couple of months that I want to reshoot this video, but it has taken me so long to do it. But I thought, you know what, let me just actually do this now, because this is also serving as a way for me to show you guys the books that I want to read, and to also kind of like motivate me to pick up these books, because I don't find it easy to pick up a book outside of my fantasy sci-fi genre of choice. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you have any more recommendations for me to add to my TBR, please don't hesitate to share them in the comments down below. So the first book I want to share with you is a fan favorite. The author is a fan favorite, and that is Freshwater. Let me do this. Freshwater by Akweke Imezi, and this is one of the very first works, and it's a very short one, so I'm adding this to my TBR knowing that it's going to be a very quick read. And I've loved quite a number of works from Akweke Imezi, but I think since I read their last installment, which was a romance-based book, I kind of fell out of it because I absolutely hated that book. But this one I've heard good things about, and at the back it says, Ada has always been unusual. Her parents prayed her into existence, but something must have gone awry. The troubled child begins to develop separate selves and is prone to fits of anger and grief. When Ada grows up and heads to college in America, a traumatic event crystallizes the selves into something more powerful. As Ada fades into background of her own mind, these alters, now protective, now hedonistic, take control, shifting her life into a dangerous direction. So yeah, I even still have the sticker of how much I bought this book for, which I clearly struggled to remove. Makes me upset, but anyway, this is the first book on my radar. And then I've got Red Ink by Angela Makola. I actually recently finished reading this book. I gave this one a 3.75 stars. It follows a woman who used to be a journalist but now runs a company with her friend called The Publicist, and they kind of like having a little bit of a fallout in their business relationship, because the friend had promised a certain percentage of partnership into the business but has not really delivered on those promises, and our main character is kind of fed up with it and wants to branch off on her own and open up her own company. But while she's in the midst of thinking about that and doing that, she gets a phone call from a prisoner in a high security prison, and this person is an infamous criminal who is essentially a serial killer. He is a serial killer, and calls her and offers her an opportunity to write a book about him and his story and what happened basically for him to become who he is. And the allure of that entices her to go and meet with this guy, and you see the story develop where she goes and starts visiting him more often to get the story out of him, and he starts to have a very unhealthy feelings towards her, and it just spirals from there on. So yeah, I read this one. In the beginning it was a little bit slow. Well, the beginning was fine, but somewhere in the middle it became really slow for me, and I really struggled with reading the words on the page. But past the halfway mark I was kind of like flying through it. So yeah, Red Ink. Happy to mention that there's a book in here that I've actually read and finished, but yeah, happy to have read this one. And then I've got The Gold Diggers by Sue Nyati. So it says it's 2008 and the height of Zimbabwe's economic demise. A group of passengers is huddled in a Toyota Quantum about to embark on a treacherous expedition to the city of gold. They have paid a high price for the dangerous passage to what they believe is a better life, an escape from the vicious vagaries of their present life in Bulawayo. In their minds, the streets of Johannesburg are paved with gold, but they will have to dig deep to get close to any gold, dirtying themselves in the process. Told with brave honesty and bold description, the stories of the individual immigrants are simultaneously heartbreaking and heartwarming. So yeah, looking forward to picking up this one. And next up, I've got The Secret Lives of Babasegi's Wives by Lola Shoneyin. I've had this book for a few years now, and it's been sitting on my shelf, and this is why I'm like, I need to do this to kind of bring these books kind of up close to my eyes so that I can pick them up soon. And I saw at the back it says coming soon to Netflix, so I don't know if it is still coming soon or if it's out, but I will check. So this one says, to the dismay of her mother, Bonlande marries into a polygamous home and becomes the fourth wife of Babasegi. She is a university graduate and as much highly prized by her new husband, but even graduates must produce children, and her husband's persistent bellyache is a sign that things are not as they should be. Bonlande only wants a quiet life, but the other wives disapprove of her and fear she may unlock their well-guarded secret. Lola Shoneyin weaves a witty, exuberant story of determined women and big surprises in the beloved modern classic. So yeah, looking forward to reading this one. Next up, I've got an author that I fell in love with in my first year of getting back into reading. I read Chimamanda, and I really loved her, and she is one of the people that got me to really love historical fiction, and I need to kind of like get myself back there. And this one is called The Thing Around Your Neck, and this is also a very short one, and it's a collection of short stories as well. And yeah, I can't wait to read it. At the back it just has blurbs from people, but it says from the author of Half of a Yellow Sun, which was my favorite from her, and Americana come 12 dazzling stories. Adichie turns a penetrating eye to the ties that bind men and women, parents and children, Nigeria and the West, on love and dislocation, violence and faith, and the moments of epiphany that illuminate the beauty and desperation of ordinary lives. So yeah, looking forward to picking up The Thing Around Your Neck. I like that a lot of these books are quite short, so it shouldn't be taking me that like long to get through them, but it's just a matter of choosing to pick them up. That's where I need to sort myself out. And then next up, I've got a book that is planned to be read, like started at least today, because this is our book club read for the months of May and June, and this is a sequel to Red Ink, and it's called The Reed Dance Stalker, and this is also by Angela Makolwa. I'm not going to read the synopsis of this one because this literally follows the other book, and the only thing I can say about it is that this book starts off with our serial killer in book 1 having escaped prison. So we'll see what happens, but she writes like crime thriller books, and she's very well known in South Africa as one of people's favorite authors. So this is going to be my second book that I read from her, so we will see how this one goes. And then a book that I've also had on my TBR for quite some time is His Only Wife, and this one is by Peace Adzomedi, and it says he is a young seamstress living in a small town in Ghana with her widowed mother. Afi's future doesn't seem to hold much excitement until that is she is offered a life-changing opportunity, a proposal of marriage from the wealthy family of Elikem Kanyo. She barely knows Elikem, but that seems a small price to pay for a marriage that could offer her family financial security as well as the key to the glitzy city lifestyle she's always wanted. But when Afi arrives in Accra, she realizes that her fairy tale ending might not be all that she'd hoped for. Now she must balance the often conflicting roles of wife, daughter, niece, and sister-in-law without losing sight of herself. Bursting with warmth and humor, His Only Wife is a witty, smart, and moving comedy of manners about the search for independence and the rules that might have to be broken along the way. So seems like a drama-filled one, so I think when I'm feeling like in the mood for that, I will definitely pick up His Only Wife. Next up, I've got a book that landed on my shelf. Well, not just landed, but it was sent to me by a publisher recently, and actually I've never heard of this one, but when I opened it, it looks like it would read quite easily, so I'd actually added it to my June TBR to try and see if I can read it this month. But it is called The City Is Mine, and this one is by Nick Mhlongo. This is also another South African author, also very well known. I've never read anything from them, so this would be my first taste into Nick Mhlongo's work if I actually do manage to pick it up in June. And it says that Mangi and his fiancée Azza have been living together in the Johannesburg suburb of Linden for the past 8 years. While cleaning their bedroom one day, Mangi discovers a secret that his fiancée has been hiding from him for a long time. The uncovering of Azza's lie is the catalyst for the unraveling of their already tumultuous relationship. Mangi loses his job and is left destitute, suddenly having to find inventive ways to make money. But how do you survive and find your own meaning in the harsh streets of Jozi when everything that used to make you feel safe is vanished into thin air? Yay. Sounds like drama, sounds like relationship politics. Yeah. We'll see what this one has in store for me. All right, and then next up I've got another favorite by Akweke Emezi, and this one is called The Death of Vivek Oji. This book, I feel like every year I tell myself that I need to pick up this book. Every year finishes with me not even picking it up. So let's hope that 2024 is going to be the year that I finally actually read this book. This one says they burned down the market on the day Vivek Oji died. One afternoon, a mother opens her front door to find the length of her son's body stretched out in the veranda, swaddled in aquete material, his head on her welcome mat. The death of Vivek Oji transports us to the day of Vivek's birth, the day his grandmother Ahuna died. It is the story of an overprotective mother and a distant father, and the heart-wrenching tale of one family's struggle to understand their child just as Vivek learns to recognize himself. Teeming with unforgettable characters whose lives have been shaped by Vivek's gentle and enigmatic spirit, it shares with us a Nigerian childhood that challenges expectations. This novel and its celebration of the innocence and optimism of youth will touch all those who embrace it. So yeah, looking forward to this one. This I've heard very, very good things about. I don't think I've heard a single person say that they don't like this book, so it's given me hope that it might maybe be a close to 5-star read, but we'll see. And then I've got Delawit's Destiny by Tomio Baro, and it says 3 women, 3 decades, the friendship of a lifetime. So it says Zainab, Funmi, and Anitan first meet at university in northern Nigeria. It's an experience that binds the 3 very different women together. When Anitan moves to New York to elope with a white man, Zainab and Funmi are left behind with drastically different fortunes. Over the next 30 years, their lives diverge and change. Anitan is separating from her husband while trying to understand her daughter Remy. Zainab finds herself the sole breadwinner for her husband and their 4 sons, and Funmi is living the life of confined luxury as the wife of a successful shady shady businessman. But theirs is a friendship that can endure decades of distance, and in 2015 they are reunited for the first time for the wedding of Funmi's daughter Destiny. Hence, they will reflect on their past, the things they loved and lost, but the present brings unexpected surprises too, because their daughters, Remy and Destiny, might just be as rebellious and open-hearted as they once were. Usually that's the case between parents and children. Whatever stresses you give your parents is probably going to come back tenfold when you have kids. So yeah, but this one is Dele with Destiny. I've also had this one for quite a bit, and looking forward to finally opening it up and seeing what the story has in store for me. I feel like this might be a lot of like life lessons in this one, so looking forward to it. And then I've got one that is promising to kind of like be fun, maybe a little bit spicy, and that is Sunshine and Shadows by Busisekile Khumalo, who's the author of the Harvard Wife series. Really love this cover. And this one says, I decided struggle love is the pits. You do not hang a Picasso piece in the back room. You hang it in a mansion. And it says Vimbai, a final year law student at the University of Zimbabwe, is determined not to join the long line of unemployed graduates. She would rather trade sexual favors to get a job than go back to living with her aunt turned stepmother. Unlike her roommate, Nosihle, the good girl who mistakenly falls in love with the wrong man, Vimbai prides herself on being pragmatic. But even if that means taking an enemy out of Ruby, the spoiled socialite who is leading a double life. But in Vimbai's search for someone who can offer her the opulence and grandeur of the Sunshine City, she dances too close to the sun, burns, and gets plunged into the shadows that lurk in the underbelly of the dream city. Now Vimbai is faced with two choices. Will she opt for a fairy tale love or the ominous allure of the shadows? We don't know, but it sounds like there's going to be quite a lot of drama in this one. I think this one might be a book that is fun to read. I think it will very much depend on Vimbai's personality for me. If she's problematic, we might have a problem. But yeah, if she, I don't know, let me not even think about it, but looking forward to picking this one up. Next up, I've got The Soft Life, and this one is by Lebohang Masango, and it says Love, Choice, and Modern Dating. This one says become more feminine and traditional. It's got a tick box, only date men with money, tick, forget splitting the bill 50-50, tick, embrace the standard of beauty with gusto, tick. This is the mantra of the modern soft life coach. Why live a life of drudgery and overwork when you can recline in the arms of your Prince Charming? Is this a new or passing trend? Romance and finance have flirted with each other for a very long time. From gold digger and sponsor to sugar baby and sugar daddy to blesser and blessee, across the world and throughout history, whom women date has been as important as their career paths or where they live. Thanks to patriarchy, dating and marriage are among the ways women move up in the world. In this book, Lihle, Jolie, Camille, Nomonde, and Wongi are women from very different walks of lives, openly share their stories, providing an insider's perspective on the life scene on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. Their lavish holidays, their designer bags, the dinners and champagne, and the luxury vehicles that make the soft life so irresistible. Feminist thinker, author, and anthropologist Lebohang Masango explores the many dimensions of this phenomenon, grounding her often unexpected insights in South African pop culture and prominent women who have made the lifestyle a staple of gossip blogs. So interested in this one. Also very short, so I just need to pick it up. All right, and then I've got a historical fiction, and this one is by Sunyati, and it's called An Angel's Demise. And at the back it says An Angel's Demise is an epic saga that explores a contested legacy and the heart-wrenching destiny of a family. The year is 1977, and the story begins on a farm in Somabula with the birth of Angel. The farm is run by Paul Williams, an outwardly harsh and bigoted man who holds the livelihoods of many of his hands. When Angel's parents join the liberation struggle, she is left in the care of her grandmothers, who have been in service to the Williams family for generations. Angel grows up on the farm over 3 momentous decades that see a convoluted past and inheritance unfold into an equally complicated present. Through her, we see a woman's quest to unearth the identity and assert her independence. In the process of self-discovery, Angel realizes that sometimes you need to be uprooted before you can grow. An Angel's Demise is Sunyati's 4th novel, is a gripping tale infused with spirituality. It recounts an explosive story of love, war, bloody massacre, and betrayal that encompasses a harrowing history, the cruel caprice of politics, gender-based violence, and what happens when ordinary people get caught up in lies. This one sounds to be quite hectic and heart-wrenching, so I'm gonna be easing myself into this book here. And then the last 2 books I have are from the same author, and it's book 1 and book 2, and they are by Zibu Sithole. So we first have The Thing with Zola, and then we've got I Do, Don't I? So also quite short books, so I'm only going to read the synopsis of the first one because this here is a continuation, but I would actually like to pick this one up very soon as well. It says 29-year-old Zola has spent the past 10 years working and studying in Europe thanks to a series of high school bursaries and opportunities that allowed her to escape the hardships of South Africa. But when her visa finally expires and there are no further prospects in sight, she has no choice but to leave behind her life, lover, and dreams she has begun to build in Germany and return home to an uncertain future. The Thing with Zola is a humorous and sexy beach read about a young woman navigating the working world, family politics, and an unexpected office romance, all while trying to figure out her place in a country that no longer feels like home. Basically, it's complicated. But yeah, this is book 1 and book 2 of the series. I don't know if there's gonna be any continuations after this, but we'll have to see. So that is the last book on my African literature books that I would still see myself wanting to read before the end of 2024. Let me know if you have any recommendations down below. If any of the books that I've read you feel I need to prioritize over the others, I would really appreciate your comments. So thank you so much. Remember to subscribe to my channel, like this video if you enjoyed it, share it with your friends and family, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
When the crowds have gone, we could talk under moonlight.